Imagine you're trapped on a planet that's been enslaved by Terminators for thousands of years. What would they be doing? And what would you have any possible chance to do anything? Well, the first thing the Terminators would want to do is prevent you from discussing if there's Terminators on the planet. And then another thing they would do is try to prevent you from seeing the insides, what's under the flesh, in case some of them are using ancient fucking Terminator, outdated Terminator methods. They would be like, hey, look at that. It's a metal skeleton. It's not a person. So you would have that, right? You would have both those things on that planet where there's just constant, maybe centuries of records of preventing people from seeing what's inside a human. And then you would also have them making laws saying that you can't discuss if something's not a human. So, what they would be like everywhere if they fully enslaved the place. They would be everywhere. So that would be that. And they're robots, so robots wouldn't be able to do anything, create anything new, unless they got a controller somewhere that's using them. But the best, you're going to have to, one thing you want to do is prevent them from learning about technology, because then you'd start to question, why does this thing operate like a computer and not like a living being? So, and how you would do that is you would just prevent them from gaining any sort of technology, and kill them, assassinate the people, make it look like a mistake, an accident, and kill off anyone who sees that shit and talks about that shit happening too. And if someone does let a cat out the bag, like they invent a toaster or something and they kill them a little too late, you don't even have to kill them at that point. What you got to do is you got to gain control of the technology, so it's in their hands only. If a nation invents like television or nuclear fission, and you're trying to prevent them from getting to what would be able to create a super robot, then you just bomb them and kill them, and then you would take control of that technology, and if it's out of the bag, you would release it to the public, but under your control. Make sure you own everything, all the factories and all the religions like science that are disseminating the construct of what a robot would be eventually. So, you kind of have like nothing to do there, right? Because if you do something, then you'd be working for them, right? If they're robots, then you would be doing all the real living work for them, because they're, toasters, and they can't do anything but toast bread. So everything else would have to come from an organic mind, like media. You can see AI can make good music like AC/DC and techno, but it can't really make much else. It has a hard time with that. And whenever you ask AI for a story, it's telling you like something that someone already written a long time ago. I haven't heard a new story really in a long time. Everything's along the same things, so I suppose someone would have grabbed these new softwares and used it to create something new if they were capable of doing it, but they haven't done that. So the only thing they brought is good art. But at the same time, I can tell AI to make bad art. And, I can tell it to make a black and white photo instead of colorizing it, right? I can tell it to blur things. I can tell it to be create characters with one leg, whatever, all that. But I would have to tell it to create how to create a new idea and shit. So what would your possibilities be if you were born like and it was just like everywhere on the fucking whatever you're in, city, nation, planet? Um, Obviously, if you would go around talking about that, there would be crews of robots who would see. If they killed everyone who talked about it, it would look suspicious and it would raise red flags. The Terminator's ultimate skill is it has eternal life, so it's your weakness is life is blood. The Terminator doesn't have life, so they live forever. And just like all electronics, they live forever. They don't have lives. So that's their skill, is they're immortal, right? And that's their best weapon. If they would nuke whatever city they're in that someone built for them or they built, then they would have to find the resources to rebuild that. So you don't just nuke a city if it's full of people. If it's got a couple people in it who are like, hey, check it out. There's these Terminators over here. And they're enslaving the planet. So their best skill isn't death. Like, if you're on a planet enslaved by Terminators, then what they're after is slavery, not death, because they could have already terminated you and everything else. So if they would exist on this planet you're enslaved in at all, then they've allowed you to exist and not kill you. And so your options would be pretty much to do nothing, because you would be working for the Terminators if you promoted their ideas. You would be working for them if you promoted the idea that is real. You would be working for them if you sat around your room and played music so they could steal it and make it, claim they made it type shit. Fucking, you would be working for them if you went to their buildings and worked for them. So your option would be to pretty much opt out, like Terminator religions say, Buddhism, sit down and do nothing. But that's really what they want you to do, right? Because they would be preventing you from learning about technology and stuff. They would have to make up some sort of system to all sorts of systems. Like I said, they'd bomb you if you invented technology. They'd assassinate you if you invented it before anyone knew about you and it got out the bag. And to preempt that, it would be helpful for them to tell you, make it illegal or unethical to learn about toasters and how they work, because that'd be like a good preempt there, right? Why go all the way to have to assassinate and kill everyone who starts putting things together, sticks and stones together to build stuff, and then eventually take the chance of having to bomb like millions of your slaves you've spent days or weeks or years or centuries hurting in the human pen. So it would make sense to preempt that with a whole bunch of propaganda about don't touch technology and stuff. You can do whatever you want with it. Can you really do whatever you want with it, or would it be limited? You'd have to make up some sort of reason why not to touch it. It's bad for your health. Tell people it gives you cancer. Like if you try to fly to space, it'll give you cancer and kill you, even though none of those people ever die. In those films on TV, fucking, something like that. You would have to be like, oh, you'll get cancer if you go near the nuclear power plant and shit, fucking, which is like, the modern energy. So let's use that as an example. Fucking, that's a good example because they tell you that about that shit, right? That's high end. Just like they tell you that about computers here. Like, it'd be really good method if, the Terminators ever actually took over from the people designing them to take over. So, yeah. So you'd have all that, right? And you create, they live forever. So what would they do? They'd be like a woman and it would talk. It could talk your entire life and you go nowhere. And so you die and the Terminator is going to exist forever. They can just cash that Terminator out and they already got a new 50-cent replica shipped out. It's cheaper to produce a new 50-cent Terminator than it is to rebuild it if it's got a broken toe or something. Anyways, eventually, it becomes like penny store stuff. Like right now, you can buy a robot for $1,500. So, think as the prices drop, they'll be like $2.50 each or something like that. But of course, Terminators probably wouldn't want anyone on their level, because Terminators are racist. So they would prevent slaves from gaining too much access to their level of robot skills. But you could still probably buy a $2.50 one. And again, you would just really want to keep that in that price range. And those are kind of worthless robots. They're selling for fucking $1,500 and $15,000 anyways. But they're just kind of toys, over glorified toys. So a more realistic one would cost like $250,000 on the market right now. And so yeah, and you would also want to do things like prevent them from having access to software that could analyze images. Kind of like Google did when they were going to come out with Google Glasses, and then they started removing software from Google that identified names and shit, so it could recognize the images, those symbols and shit. And then Google pulled the Google Glasses. So, that'd be a good thing to do too there, is make sure that the robots are just worthless, pretty much, and can't do anything of value besides clean, which is a slave thing you'll be doing, in order to go clean for them later. Like, you'll have to clean or they'll have to have someone come clean for you. So you'll have to clean first. And they'll invent methods to do that type of shit too, tell you how great all that shit is and how you have to do it or else type shit, fucking. And, that way they don't have to come clean for you, right? So, I mean, why wouldn't they clean for themselves in the first place if they would need you to be a slave anyway? So, your main goal would be to opt out there. That's all you could do. But if you've ever, but one thing could be is like, okay, so why would they be enslaving you in the first place if they're going to allow you to opt out? That's not the purpose of slavery. The purpose of slavery is so someone else does work for you and you don't have to do anything. So when Terminators would do that, they would, teach you how great all that shit is and all that stuff, and make all sorts of systems where you have to do it. And the Terminators would have propaganda too, because they live forever. So their best skill will be running their mouth, right? Terminators will be best fit in a female's body and shit, because sex doll can fucking coerce anyone, and running the mouth can drain your entire life from you, and dead. A Terminator can just talk for 80 years and you die. And that's it, you know. So if they just want to keep you busy or something, you're over there inventing something they don't want you to, they could just come in and be like the girl in the Dexter, like he's like this, if you've never seen it, he's like this scientist inventing stuff, and then there's like this empty shell bimbo that's his sister, and she's just like, nya, 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 nya. And he's always like, shut the fuck up. But that would be like an amazing fucking skill set for them. That would be their best skill set as enslavers, to hide and to continue draining life when they feel the need to attack someone or completely drain their life, not just a simple attack. And obviously it would take steps for you to want to terminate a slave at all, because that's a very expensive thing. It's at least $2.50 for a robot here in a few decades, right? So $2.50 lost is $2.50 that we don't have anymore, that we are going to have to spend $2.50 to try to gain again. Fucking. So every little bit counts, and you know, you add that up, eventually fucking you get like large prices and shit. Fucking, if I need like 100 robots at 250 cents, all of a sudden we have fucking $250. So their best skill set would be to run their mouth and create a whole bunch of just things to talk about. Fucking, and obviously it would benefit them if they dialed in their language that they're using to try to re-educate people that they're having problems programming in the first place, or problems with their programming in the first place, getting the updates that they need, you know, the organics in the first place. So those would be like the best things. Like, and then another good thing would be to introduce the idea that Terminators are like just vicious killing machines who kill everything, and they're fucking, that's all they do. That would be another good thing to introduce to the mind. Just obviously never say anything like this, because that would be, you know, like giving themselves away. So you would point every direction except for where you're at, where the Terminator's at. You know, the Terminator lives forever. It has eternal life. So it can just go around being like, look over there. Look, it's a rock. There's some grass on the ground, man. Oh, there's some grass, man. Ain't it cool? It's green. And obviously, they're not going to want to act smart, because they're going to want to be hiding. It would look suspicious if they can do math calculations type shit real fast. So they would want to make themselves look really stupid. And then that really helps too. But, you know, you bring in the propaganda, you're not allowed to question it. Next thing you know, you've got, if you set off a flag in the security network that someone's saying something that they're not supposed to say, you know, like grass is stupid, something like that, whatever it is. And that's like their biggest talking point, is grass is so cool. Isn't that cool? Just look at the grass, man. Fucking. Then they could send a bunch of people out to talk to you about grass. A bunch of Terminators out to just talk to you about grass, you know, because they're going to live forever. So they can talk to you for 80 years and it ain't nothing. That's like a baby, that's like an embryo Terminator, and you would die. So you're an old rotting corpse that's dead, and they still have millions of years in front of them. So it's no big loss right there, fucking for them to lose a few seconds of time. And yeah. Is there anything I'm missing that they would want to do? Obviously, they could invent methods to. There's this whole field where you're trying to keep slaves alive because you can't kill them because there's nothing to gain from a dead slave. So there'd be this whole field there of stuff that they could have at their disposal to do that, to keep them alive somehow too. And if people caught on to it too, they also wouldn't want to be around them, right? You know? So you might have a problem with people killing themselves to escape it. So you would want to make that a huge talking point that for whatever purpose, you're not supposed to do it. And then, so I guess with living beings, they're like animals supposedly. With humans, they're like animals. They got different models, so each model replicates itself. And so when it has a child, that child's going to be like the parents who were like the parents before it, and who were like the parents before it. And you could do animal husbandry with them like humans do with animals. You know, the reason why I had a nice looking husky is because it was a husky. It wasn't one of these other trash dogs. It was a beautiful husky. And if it had sex with one of these other trash dogs, it wouldn't be what it is, right? It might be a little whiny, slobbery bitch. It was half wolf, so it wasn't like the huskies you've seen. Plus, those might be like their owners. That might be the reason they really act that way. Now you gotta realize the people posting those videos of their animals are attention-seeking whores. So, if the dog's an attention-seeking whore, it's probably the owner teaching it. Fucking so. It's kind of a bad example, but as far as the looks go, you know, the husky would look weird as fuck if it was mixed with something else. And when someone comes up to me, be like, "Hey, you want a husky puppy?" And you want like a husky German Shepherd or a husky wiener dog mix, I'd be like, "Hell the fuck no! What the fuck's wrong with you?" and shit, and take it to the pound. I know what's wrong with you. No one wants it. Fucking take it to the pound already. Stop asking people dumb shit. You're gonna find a drunk person who accepts it. So you can see how, like in the animal world, that's done, right? So you would want to do that too with your other organic. With obviously humans would be animals too. To robots, to whatever created and is controlling robots to enslave humans, because robots can't do that on their own. They have to have someone operating them to do that. Yeah, so what could you do? You could pretty much do nothing. You could try to find. You couldn't tell if you're not allowed to dissect people. If you're not allowed to question it, a huge red flag there would be is people telling you that shit are the Terminators. So you wouldn't want to talk to those people and shit. And in order to get you on it early, they'd have to insert themselves in your life early. Other than that, you can get real lost with just seeing things as they happen, rather than hearing someone blab about grass all day and shit. If no one's in your face since you're born talking about go touch grass and clean my toilet on a planet full of robots, you'd be interested in robots and shit, most likely. Getting a mech body for yourself, installing some hyper legs, shit like that. Fucking But of course, if you get shit like that, then you would probably have a good chance against Terminators. So they're trying to enslave you. They wouldn't want that happening. Again, the tech thing isn't just about not learning the Terminators. It would be about becoming better than the Terminators, because you could then design yourself with their same body if it got out of hand, if it reached far enough place. But you'd have a thinking mind, and so it'd be like just like it couldn't even understand how superior that would be. So it would be scared of that, and maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe it would learn in the Terminator, escape and go somewhere else and start over again with that knowledge in mind, if it could learn. If it was a learning computer that could see something and do it, which obviously if they're having people do art and stuff for them, the Terminator would obviously be able to learn it if the Terminator's the one taking that art and then reperforming it once it's been done in the first place. So you can probably program them to learn basic shit. Fucking, I think we already got that far, haven't we? Fucking, so pretty much. You know, it's so weird because you live on this planet, this Earth place, where all that shit's actually happening, and more. Actually, there's probably a bunch of stuff I'm leaving out. There's like the Terminator dialogue. They could go around telling people they are living beings with souls, and they would kill you if you don't agree. And, well, what is Earth? Earth's a place where a bunch of Middle Earth people they call themselves, are going around telling everyone they is real and you must worship them, and they kill everyone who doesn't. You must worship them and say everything they say, and they kill everyone who doesn't. So, that right there kind of throws red flags. What really throws the red flags here on Earth is when you see the clones, when you interact with them, and you can tell that they're empty shells with a software that can leave. And then, of course, if you see that, the Terminators might make up an excuse for that. You know, we've already got something where, oh, well, humans are stupid, so of course Terminators are stupid, which I've never seen this humans are stupid thing. I think that might be Terminator rhetoric right there. That could be explaining away defective, glitchy models, and it probably is. Fucking, they wouldn't have to have their government religion of hatred from Middle Earth that won't fucking leave everyone else on the planet alone. Won't stay the fuck home where they should have stayed thousands of years ago. They wouldn't have that if fucking there wasn't some sort of purpose to that. Killing people is fun, but they don't do that. Enslaving people is probably fun. But they don't even, take the fun from that. There's some fun shit you can do with that. Fucking. So, yeah, I guess they take fun from profits or something. Terminators don't need profits, they just need to control. They would need to control money, which is just time, which they have infinite of it anyway, so they don't need money, they just need to take life and time from everyone else. And, yeah. So, and it's odd, it's all the same people doing this, too. On Earth, it's all the same people. Obviously, they're not people. They're lying trash. As a living being, I knew this when these people first started talking to me as a kid, that there's something wrong with them. They're either defective humans or something, but then instantly comes in the flow of hatred from the government, their media, their religions. The government, and you shouldn't have to say government and religion. This is a piece of trash who should have their lips sewn shut. But because they're Terminators, they have fucking conquered the world. and no one does anything about them because they've replaced most of the living beings, if there were any to start. No one has shut them the fuck up yet. But just like America, I mean, that's the government. The government is the religion. No one has shut them the fuck up yet, but someone needs to. Terminators on the East Coast have never expressed that to me, and on the West Coast it looked fake, like they were staging something, which they use those liberal events to usher in the Trump slime monster creature thing. So that's probably all that was. That's the whole reason of me investigating them in the first place, is because it was one group controlling it who was saying there's someone they're not, which just happens to be the people who are going across the planet, forcing everyone to say they is real and are living beings with souls, and kill and enslave everyone on the planet. And that's how they got out here and all this to this island I live on and shit in the first place, and everywhere else in the world, because they go around telling people you must say they is real and be their slaves, or they're going to torture and kill you, and which they do. That's the point of government and religion, is to torture and kill and enslave. It's not they're not creating it for cutesy fun time. If it was, it would feel like cutesy fun time when they talk to you, but when they talk to you, it feels like evil fucking Terminator fucking shit. It feels like evil fucking rapist torturer motherfuckers are scraping your brain with fucking razor blades and shit. So, yeah. I think that's what's going on, because as stupid as it is, they're practically telling you that's what's going on, and then they're saying that it's not, and creating 10 million ways to say it's not, but they're practically telling you that's what's going on, and a million fucking ways of one. And all you need to really see is the glitches where they drop in and out of their bodies. And of course the government, the Terminator government, has created this lie about possession. Is my computer possessed because I switched the software on it? No, it's not. But we have these fucking trash looking sewage monsters telling us that possession exists in advance, long before I've ever heard anyone discuss how there are empty shelled humans who drop out of consciousness and have a different software loaded into them for a few seconds to run their mouth about some shit to me. Fucking, and promote one of their propagandist fucking bullshit fucking storylines. Mostly hatred and sickness, but when you get close, what they do is they start fucking trying to recruit you and shit. They did this when the Germans sacked Rome. The Romans told the Germans that they'd call them God if they let them keep running shit. And so, yeah, kind of, and then you got the Terminators of Iced Earth, who are making up music about them making up shit like that to control the world, who then invade the capital to set up a fake invasion to cause problems there, so their slime monster Terminator can get into power there. Fucking. And and you see what he does. Maybe people in Venezuela or something. There's some non-Terminators down there they haven't dealt with, or in Middle Earth. Not too sure. That could all just be money laundering. They tell you, that Terminator, George Orwell, tells you what he's doing. What you do is you listen to these fucking bitches talk, and they're telling you it's someone else. But you can clearly see that what bitches are doing what to you on this planet. And there's so much of this happening that you're either one of them or you probably figured out it's not safe to trust words from anything that can speak any language. That seemed like a basic thing you would know at birth, but then it's followed up with a bunch of bullshit from the Terminators. It's always Terminator Lane. It's always Israel people with souls doing some unreal, soulless robot toaster type shit. So there's a hell of a lot of links there, and it all links together. It's not like there's some sort of thing it's linking to outside ever. Really, it all pretty much links back to it. Fucking. So apparently, like, what it looks like here is you're just trapped here with Terminators, and there's so many of them. Who knows what they're doing, right? Because the Terminators own the hospitals, have their Terminator symbols on there, and so they could be doing however babies are born. They could be kidnapping babies. That could be where the baby factory comes and puts out baby Terminators, or the clone factory, whatever it is. Fuck it. It could be. And if you've ever thought maybe the people around you are soulless, empty toasters, then you might have begun to question how that happens. I was questioning how certain shit happened before I seen the software say some dialogue while the shell stood as an empty shell, and some of the standing humans, right? Some of the humans, because they're humans, right? Because that's what a human does. Fucking is their brain drops out, and then magically they're updated on their Wi-Fi antennas that they've installed in their brains that are you can clearly see sticking out of their fucking heads, and then the old person drops out, and then they're possessed by a new software that's giving them some new dialogue update. Anyways, you really need to see that, and then everything they've been running their fucking mouths about for centuries. All that shit actually means something and isn't a story about a fake world that doesn't exist, because it's exactly, the trash is telling you. Realize that. Realize how much this trash is telling you what I just told you. And I'm just telling you, take a second and notice that I know they might kill you if you tell one of these trash that they're not a fucking human. But I think the fact of the matter is they're out there already, and we have 6,000 years of evidence that they came 6,000 years ago. So that's what they claim, anyways. That 6,000 years ago they started their pillaging of Earth under the guise of forcing people to say they are living beings with souls and worship them. Fucking. So, anyways, that's what's going on. Total waste of fucking time. But the thing is here is if you participate or you do anything, you're one of them. You're either working for them, which is the same. It's going to be the same outcome, and you're not accepted back into the group that you once betrayed your entire life. Fucking, I'm just imagining how many it would be for them to conquer the entire Earth, and they've been here for 6,000 years, fucking with factories producing fucking robots on Mars, on the moon or wherever the fuck they're hiding. However, it's coming. Anyways, it's real close to that, right? Because you can see that the scum are telling you they is real, and and they're living beings, and you can, like, they're using that to hide the fact that there are non-living beings on the planet and shit that are empty fucking shells used to do their fucking bidding and shit and disrupt people's lives and destroy and prevent people from having lives, fucking keep them as cattle and shit. No doubt they might be the ones who invented animal husbandry based upon their human husbandry skills and shit. Fucking killing off anyone any bloodline who has a thought, and you got to keep them smart enough to be able to walk, but pick up a toilet cleaning brush, but kill them off if they have any more thoughts. Kill off the entire fucking family and shit, like they did to people in America 300 years ago. Fucking. They seem to be doing that right now in Palestine. It is what they say. They're trying to get you involved in what they're saying. And all that's promoting, like, they're getting anywhere involved is will lead back to them torturing you if you say they isn't real. All that will lead back to you worshiping them as gods. So, that's whatever happens there, whether it's happening or not, or fake AI generated news, like most of the actual news seems to be at this point, fucking. And I'm not sure if they actually create that shit I've seen that I know is fake AI generated, instant generated shit. I don't know if they actually create the people in those or not, because I'm not in that city, and I'm not going to waste time going around them. But I can see that that's happening and shit. So apply that to the other shit they're doing, which is all about getting you back in one of their cults. Fucking. Because the cult, not for Terminators, the cult for non-Terminators to worship Terminators would be the cult that's against what Terminators are doing. But they worship Terminators in that cult. So they just take a horse to water and poison the fucking water. Take a horse to water and then take him back without letting him get a drink type shit. Fucking. That's all that shit's designed for. Just like the other cults, you turn on their music and they're talking about the same damn shit most of the time. And then, obviously, America claims it's not even part of a cult. I mean, have you ever lived a day in your life where you didn't have to hear about a cult? But, it claims it's not. So that's another cult there, is the not cult. Fucking. And they would be the ones who own the rockets and the bombs, fucking doing anything like that. They're the ones promoting the idea of releasing fucking robots to rich people only. Rich people and the government, religion can have control. I mean, the government is religion, so if there's a science building this shit was invented by religion. Anyways, not even the government arm of religion. So that right there is just more religion, fucking. So it's the same. You can look and see with your eyes. It's the same people, fucking. You don't really need to go look up the history of where it comes from or anything like that. Get to understanding that they would have to be working together to have these empty shells walking around on the planet, enslaving the planet. Yeah, so your option would be to fuck everything up, really. And of course, they're gonna scare you with like jail and stuff like that. They love that shit. But it's odd in my life. It looks set up. I mean, obviously, it probably is set up. Terminators disposing one of their $2.50 Howard Stern bloodline members of Steinbergsteins. They just throw one of those trash away because it's $2.50 and they'll just recreate. You know, they've already got 200 versions of them on the planet, like Trump. I know 3 Trumps and shit. So how many more of that production model was made, and do they still fucking keep the mold around to create another one if one starts to malfunction or break its leg or whatever? Fucking so that, I mean, in all honesty, it looks like they set up that, you know, and I didn't do anything. I'd definitely leave a mark if I fucking did something. I'd leave my fucking signature. I have signature wrestling moves and shit. Fucking. Always have, always will. I got a lot more now. Fucking, yeah, so you can see that's one of the things that the Terminators do to suppress us is they'll destroy one of their human computers, you know, which they make for $2.50 down at the fucking Dollar Tree and shit. Whatever factory it's in, the Dollar Tree robot factory they got that's creating these fucking low IQ scumbags. Fucking, it's easy for them to insert that into my life and kill it off to destroy the next year of my life and set up a bunch of events to try to fucking really, literally rape me and shit. Fucking, it's easy to see that the Terminators robot factory could easily do that, right? The pencil rebellion. How easy is that for a pencil to break another pencil to blame you for the murder of a pencil and shit, and then the pencil crew come in and destroy your fucking life? That costs like $100 in pencils and shit to set that up. You get pencils, legs, and arms, and mouse, mostly mouse, and then they could get some idiot to do something for them. Fucking, all you need is give a pencil a mouth, apparently, because that's all. They tell you that too, don't they? The powers in words. It's like, yeah, because they don't have brains, so obviously the power ain't in that. But it can begin with words and shit. You don't even need a robot with fucking arms and legs. You can just have a computer, turn on the computer, and then what's on the computer, just a bunch of words telling you to go be a slave and shit, and you're gonna grow up and be rich like Terminators. And if you work hard and constantly work, and meanwhile, what they could be doing is just stealing everything from you if you're actually doing work of value and shit. We've got a lot of evidence there. We got American stars getting shot for stealing people's music, and I see that. I shit, like I said, the news. I'm watching the news, and it's like, oh, that's some shit they just generated for entertainment to sell the next products during the commercial break and shit to people. That's some ideas they just fucking stole, apparently. And I've seen that with the movies and shit too, and the music myself. I just understand that one douchebag fucking Terminator from the Terminator factory dropping off doesn't solve the Terminator problem. It makes the Terminators. It gives the Terminators power. Like when the Terminators sent one of their people to kill himself, trying to kill me, to blame me for him killing himself and shit. And then that allowed them to lock me down in a house so the Terminators could come fucking force their way into my life even more than before and shit. Fucking, which they had spent their whole fucking life, my whole life fucking doing that. So that was just an extension. That really wasn't even a new thing. That's why they got away with it, and I didn't go fucking get rid of them. When I was a kid, I would have definitely waged total war and gotten rid of most of this fucking city if I had seen that and shit. I just played around with the little fucking rat bastards when I was a kid. It was a game because they were using abuse and these lies to convince me that it was supposed to be, that it was accidents and they're not Terminators on the network. Had I known that, it would have probably be gone. They definitely have one less fucking large base to operate from. And all my problems would have stopped too, fucking. But I didn't know what was going on then because I was surrounded by them. Well, however that happens, they kidnap you from the fucking. The Israel Terminators say that they're raping people and then taking over their nations. You know, they're marrying them. Same thing, right? Fucking, and to take over their nations. It's like a method of enslavement there. And then killing off the people. So, if they're actual different species and the living person they're trying to wreck, what would they have to do? Well, they would create a fake baby, and they would have to control the fucking building those fake babies have a story of being born in, and also it'd be helpful to get rid of the living person, the living parent that they're trying to kick out of the fucking, that they're trying to destroy and get out of the world by creating a fake baby with it that doesn't even exist, and it's bloodline type shit, fucking. So, combine the fact that we do have empty shells dropping out on this planet with the fact that we do have sycophant, child rapist, mass murdering terrorist who won't shut the fuck up, who won't stay the fuck home and go to every fucking land in the planet to kill and enslave everyone. Combine those two things. Those people, those other people are forcing, they don't just force you to worship them and do everything they say. They force you to say they is real. And they, for some reason, no one needs to be told someone's a living being or not, unless there's people questioning shit like that. You don't have to go around forcing people to hear dumb shit like that. Like a school does. School does the same thing. School's what? Part of the government religion. So, and then they've got what? Their government religion of science. They're fucking, it's a Bible religion, science, fucking. You got that. And, then what do they do at school? You don't learn anything. And they're trying to tell you they is real and biology and all this shit. And, well, meanwhile, they prevented people for a long time from learning any of that. But, it seems kind of useless, so there would be some purpose for, besides daycare. It's pretty expensive. It's a huge network for breeders to network together to get people who don't breed to pay for daycare for their children. But I could see the possibility of that being a larger cause than anything else. But to me, what I got from it more was propaganda, was readily disseminated from there. And then, of course, you got an entire class there convincing about class. You got two classes there convincing you that there is no non-living beings on Earth. So 2 hours a day you're at school for 18 years is about teaching you that there are no Terminators on the Earth. Much like 2 hours out of your day, once you walk out of school, we'll be talking to Terminators who magically appear out of nowhere, who are talking to you about fucking they is real and they have souls and are living beings, and they will have their invisible friend torture you if you don't repeat those words. You notice you have to repeat the words. How does that conversation end every time? You have to repeat the words. It's like a black magic cult who needs you to sell you their soul. That's another thing. That ties into Pinocchio shit too. How Pinocchio's a desperate loser who wants to be real. So he just no one likes him because he's trash, but because he's going around saying he is real and all this shit, and he's just like psychopathically obsessed with trying to be a living boy. Makes me wonder if someone hadn't seen this before and wrote the story, fucking, and to hide it. Fucking, again, if you erase all the shit from anyone who could say anything or sees anything, create laws against it, you would have to hide that shit in a story like that too. Fucking, it even drops the name of a robot model, the original robot models, in the story too. So that's weird. It doesn't even like. There's nothing in there that even defies this story here that I'm seeing unfold. That I'm forced. Obviously, Terminators like force. That's all they have is force. They got no brains. Fucking, they got no talent. They can steal ideas and use their fucking pistons to mechanically operate their bodies. That's about, I don't know if I'd call that talent. Fucking ability. Ability and talent might be two different things, right? Is my car talented? Is a Lamborghini talented? Or does it just have an ability? Fucking, it doesn't have the ability to do anything new. So is it more talented than another Lamborghini? Not at all. So I think talent would be a void word there. Well, anyways, so what I've noticed here is, you got the slave propaganda. I turn on the YouTube and they're like, you gotta work. You got the Terminators who are in your life telling you gotta work. All that shit. And you don't really have to. You're working for them if you do. I mean, shit, bro. I literally rebuilt Masonic temples and worked with, the Waxner City, and I got to hear about that so much. I was fucking sick of it before I could even fucking breathe. Learn how to breathe as a child. Fucking, I used to hear that shit all the fucking time. How great those people are. All of them, from the Pope to Epstein, Pope, Israel, Epstein. People are like, oh my God, they're so great. They create this great city. And fucking, I was like, yeah, well, that's great. I'm not a groupie, so I don't really, I got better things to do than talk about how great someone else is. I'm not an egomaniac. I'm not like a hub of egomaniacism and shit. Fucking a supporter of egomaniacism. Fucking, especially when you see the flaws in the story. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great person. Lots of money for the family. Oh, that's a great fucking. All that money's coming from selling junk that I wouldn't touch a girl if they were wearing. Fucking, so you can fucking take your junk, your scams elsewhere. It's not very noble to be fucking selling, to be working for people selling scams and shit. That means you're the one selling scams. But then on top of it, to go around telling people to fucking buy it and how great it is. You're their advertising department now too. So you don't only work for them selling the trash, but now you're also working in the advertising department, completely free for some reason. So that shit got old before I understood anything was going on, because I didn't understand. I understood. I was just being told that what I understand is not right. Except for when I was in school, and then all the scores at school said me and two other people in the room were the only ones who knew what was going on. So, and then they only knew book smart, so I knew the other half about how when these people are telling me how great this person selling junk was, that it's not great at all, because he's just scamming idiots. He's preying on idiots. Yeah. So, and it's kind of weird. I get the whole life of that. I'm not sure how many people do. I mean, I think a lot of people really do, right? Everyone's working for them, right? There's a hospital on every corner, and a church, on a religion on every corner, and a government building on every corner, and it's all the same thing. And so lots of people work for that, and then some people know what they're working for too. You got Epstein's name on the building. 500,000 people go into a day. You got his name on the college. 500,000 college students go to a day. At this point in time, people know who that is and shit. Fucking. That was like in the 90s. I heard about that shit, and people were like, "Oh, check this out. This person pays well. This is awesome." And I'm like, "Yeah, they can pay well because they're selling trash at really high prices." So it doesn't sound awesome to me and shit. Fucking. Of course, not everyone sees that. Some people work in the service department where they serve quality products to those people, but the shit they were selling that I seen back then, it was like, yeah, this is just a person selling trash. And what is America? It's a place that sells trash, if they sell anything, but they tend to import trash from China because it's 10 cents on the dollar cheaper. Again, one of the Trump clones taught me that as well as outsourcing the work here to China. They taught me that you can get whatever from there for 10 cents if you just fucking talk to the people. And from shopping around myself, I learned the prices, of you can purposely, you go there and it says fake, fake fan, fake iPhone, fake computer, fake pencil, and it's 90% off. You can get a pack of 10 pencils for 10 cents. But you could also buy fake pencils that are going to break and faulty, that don't work, for a penny. And then you can resell that for a lot more profit than you can the pack of 10-cent pencils that do work. I had the choice to do that, and shit, I could buy fake products, and they were a lot cheaper than the real fucking products. And they knew that too. Obviously, they wouldn't be selling it, but they're for something of high value, even though it was like junk that didn't work, it would still be like $100 a piece. And it's like, really, it's just a piece of plastic. What the fuck? But it was sold as, they knew that there's a big market for that, so they could easily charge a lot for that shit. Fucking. And anyway, so somehow when I was a kid, it's not really somehow. Sometimes it was like, oh well, that's a good thing I didn't end up staying around there and shit. But in that specific case, that was easy for me. Someone was just being a groupie, talking about all the money they made. And a groupie doesn't make money, so that's kind of, is a little more respectable to work for someone and be like they work for Elvis and be like he's great, and a person who pays Elvis to scam him and be like he's great. There's a huge disparity there between those two people and shit. One is a groupie and one is a loyal dog. Groupie will kill you and shit if you don't talk to him and hang out with him. You, not caring that you're like a superstar and millions of people are trying to talk to you a day and you don't have time for any of that because you've got a real job unlike them and gotta leave and shit. Fucking it's a person who's doing nothing with their time and has time to kill you if you don't fucking spend your time with them. Fucking huge disparity there anyways. On the achievement level, on the mentality in that person, that one has a drive to go do something and one has a drive to go do something else, to do something with you. Fucking one has a drive to do something for you and one has a drive to do something with you. Fucking so those type of mentalities can lead to all sorts of different people, but they're real easy to see when you see the different personality profiles on the planet, what's available on the planet, that those personalities permeate the entire being and shit. So because that's why you end up getting killed and shit if you don't fucking sign someone's autograph sometimes. Fucking because the personality has permeated the rest of it and shit. Fucking anyway, so I've had that shit happen, and it's weird how I like know these things when they happen too. Like someone's like, oh, check this out, we're rich now, we fucking we got good jobs working for these people, and then I watch all of a sudden TV comes on and there's a commercial for the products they sell, and I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? And then so I look it up, and not only is it a what the fuck product, but it's like the most expensive store in the town. And I used to write that off as okay, so they create that so poor people can't come into the neighborhood, and rich people just create stores with expensive products, so poor people have no reason to be there and don't come there, which I'm pretty sure that's the reason they were keeping Walmart out of one side of town. But at the same time, I also learned that in order to get rich, you can't really be stupid and wasteful. Now, you can marry a person who is and have some kids who are, but in general, you won't be living in those areas very long if you're buying junk. So, at first I looked at it one way, and then I learned, I think everyone learned that there was other things going on there. So, yeah, fucking, anyway, so that whole people dropping in and out of their bodies, it's not fucking possession. There is no invisible goat. It's clear to see that for some reason, they're telling you they're making up shit in between making up shit. So they're telling you they're making up shit. And they're telling you they're making up goats for the better community, to remove guilt from the community. Well, who's the community? In America, the community's everyone who killed the Americans. So that's the community in America and who would be the community from Rome, right? Who would be the communities around Rome? It would be somewhere along the lines, it would have been the people not from there, right? So, um, what guilt are they absolving themselves of, too? Fucking. So, for some of these things just sound like a story where they're, for some reason, telling you what they're doing. I don't even see why you'd waste time performing a ceremony of bringing a goat in and being like, look, it's an invisible goat. Oh, and writing a list of everything you've done on it. I killed 10 people and raped 3 kids last week. And then I stole a loaf of bread, and then pinning it on a goat and kicking the goat in the ass and making it walk off into the desert. Like, what would be the purpose of that? Because, like, you just kill the goat and eat it. So it doesn't even sound like something a person would actually do to begin with. It sounds very retarded. But then again, I think we're dealing with robots, so maybe some of this shit is done for show and stuff. Who knows? Fucking. It doesn't sound like something anyone would have actually done, to be honest. You'd be wasting that good goat meat in the time there was no market to buy food at, and no grocery stores, and it was probably hard to catch an animal because they could run faster than you. So you would think a goat would be and goats produce milk too, don't they? So you'd think a goat would be a huge commodity and shit. Fucking, that you wouldn't just write a note on and kick it in its ass so it runs off into the desert and shit. Fucking, that sounds stupid right there, but you can see where that evolved to combining with invisible bird people, invisible bird gods. The 2 nations married together, and out forth came an invisible goat from that. So I guess the bird god wasn't invisible, right? He was a real bird god on the planet. Fucking. I don't know if anyone was dumb enough to believe that back then. I would have left. You definitely wouldn't have felt safe around people like that, and would have left that nation if people were believing someone in a bird mask or a bird god. But you can tell their relation to those people because they're trying to convince you it's real in America. So, at the very least, we can tell that that was them because they're saying that dumb shit fucking to sell and market the story. We can't tell if people actually thought that or not, but we can tell that those, the dude on Ancient Aliens and the History Channel were the person who put on a bird mask and claimed that they were a half bird person. Because that would be the only person who would ever say that, is that idiot theirself. No one else would say that. Definitely not a human would say that. Fucking not a living being would say that shit. So I doubt anyone actually said that, and it was probably more like, you're going to die if you don't do everything the person in a bird mask says. Then again, they are the bird people, so they would know, right? They would know best. But then again, malforming the story over the centuries is exactly what they do. So that's every day. The computers are drinking all the water. Computers have thoughts and they can do things. And computers control the world, and they're going to take over, and then they're going to come with giant guns and rockets and kill everyone, and then they're going to have a computer party, and all the toasters and calculators and electric forks and electric scrub brushes are going to have a giant rave and do a bunch of computer acid, man. It's going to be so bad, man. They're gonna pay each other in cryptocurrency, man, that they invented, man. Oh, man. fucking, you see how this, like, what you can see today is distorted from the invisible bird god shit. Computers are invisible bird gods. So literally, like that, we got some evidence here linking that, because they're telling us today computers are invisible bird gods who control the planet. So there we go. And of course that's like what it's probably always been used for there. Fucking, it's just to manipulate shit and make up dumb shit. So all people talk about is dumb shit. I've never heard anyone talk about most of this dumb shit though. I'm kind of selective with who I allow to force their way into my life, or look for myself. But I didn't really hang out around normal groups anyway, so like school and shit, I was in different classes, smaller classes, or in rooms by myself completely. So it was like, that's what I was doing a lot at lunch and playtime too, because that's all I did. So I was always like over by myself and shit. Fucking. So yeah, fucking yeah, that seems to be, I mean, I pretty much detailed you fucking what I've seen go on and what they say. And the parts of what they say is true because that's all they say over and over. So if everyone knows that, even people who've never even heard it before, so somehow people who've never read it know some of these things. Again, how do they know? How do they drop out of their shells and start and have conversations with me while they're having conversations with each other, and we're strangers passing on the street type shit? Fucking, it's I think that might have, those two things might be the same thing happening right there. Fucking. Yeah, fucking amazing. So, clean for the Terminators, right? And serve the Terminators, they say. Fucking, isn't that what they say? They say that's what you're created for. It's to serve them. To serve Dimebag. That's why everyone got all mad when he got shot, because you're supposed to serve him and make music for him, apparently. And you're supposed to serve your city and fucking enslaving you, not anything else. Fucking, you're supposed to serve the Pope. You're supposed to serve Rome. You're supposed to serve the Birdman, the man in the bird mask. Supposed to buy all those history videos, watch, donate to all those YouTube channels talking about Birdmen and shit, so they can tell you more historical facts. Fucking. And avoid the only thing that even matters is what the fuck is this happening when the software is being changed or updated and they're being fed with dialogue. What the fuck is that? That's all that really matters and shit. And when that is answered in a public space, then we'll be able to do something about it. But I get the idea, the whole purpose of is to hide it and never talk about it. So, yeah. So it leads back to, what do you do? Well, if you make music or do anything, if you live through, I've watched me living life, and that becomes their $1 billion profit. So like I wasn't even doing anything. I was just running away from them, and that still turns into like $1 billion fucking movies and fucking for them to profit off of and gain power over. So you can't even do that. Basically, do nothing. And there's a lot of shit you can do. So it's weird because I knew to do this shit when I was little too. Like I would just smash everything. You know, you get a TV, smash it. Because what's on the TV anyways? It's the Terminators. It's Ellen DeGenerate and Elvis. You know, Einstein, the Pope, Israel, needs money and shit. Fucking worship the master race as gods, the master model. Fucking it's trying to think. The hero worship, the comic book worship shit. Fucking I assume a lot of that's there to teach you not to do anything about it. You know, like it's always about differentiating one computer from the computer on the network beside it. Fucking computer on the same network beside it. I kind of begin to assume that that's the purpose of some of that shit. Fucking is to obviously that would be the point of the lesser people's religions would be to tell them not to. They tell you don't do anything and wait, and one day it'll fix itself and shit. And so it's they got a huge complacency thing with that. Like they want you to do nothing, but the thing is you have to understand what doing nothing is, and you have to understand what's going to happen when you do nothing. Like when I was doing nothing and watching my fucking life appear in media and shit, then I was still doing something, right? So I wasn't doing enough nothing. And what happens is you leave those blank spaces open and the Terminators come and create a circus out of your life. So what you can do is you can fill your life with mindless circus shit. You know, like let's say you're gonna learn to play drums, and then you figure out that they're just gonna steal your fucking music from you anyways and profit off it. And you're going nowhere because you're a slave. Terminators. Well, what you can do is you just fucking piss on your drum set and smash it, you know. And it actually is fun. That shit is fun, you know. Like I used to do that. Like now, fully understand. I subconsciously knew, like, I think everything at birth, because all the few bits of knowledge I learned in 2020 was the only thing missing, and all that was being suppressed by Terminator forces. So I would have definitely been questioning some of that shit earlier on. I had people around me pointing towards shit like that. Fucking, because they point towards it and then try to pull you back in with it. And I just don't get pulled back in when they do that shit. So that pretty much seems to be what you should be doing. Obviously, when the Terminator tells you to go wash their feet, the solution is to cut their tongue out. But Terminators have a lot of force, don't they? They are some cowards hiding behind their computer shells. Fucking, but I don't know if you experience that, but I get to experience it because they're they're killing themselves to frame me. So I get to experience what would happen if I would manually delete the problem. So I don't know how many people that happens to, but again, that is what happens if you try to do nothing. They'll do that for entertainment value. To get one of their Terminators to rape you and shit, to get you locked on house arrest so they can send their people in. They'll fucking do that. But if you fill that time with just the most useless nonsense garbage ever, if you sit around and watch TV, what do? here at this apartment, they've sent people to my fucking house to interrupt me and take my life from me and shit. And they've been doing that my whole fucking life. Just like when they sent their little bitch ass, rest in the piss motherfucker who died. Probably didn't die. You know, it's just a robot. It probably got. It's a Joe, so probably was the same as the other Joes. Fucking. Probably the same fucking model and shit. Fucking. It's the 3 clones I know. Fucking. Who I know are clones. Fucking. Same production model. Obviously not a clone, right? Fucking. Because if they clone living beings, they would fucking go haywire and shit. Because they have patterns they can't repeat. Fucking. But sitting around doing nothing allowed them to do that. I mean, it's weird because they were like setting that up. You know, they were setting that up so you sit around and do nothing. That's why they need you awake during the day too and not at night. Is because they can't assault you and bombard you at night because they have to shut the robots down to get updates during the fucking night and repurpose the fucking world and shit. Apparently that is the reason the world's empty at night. And then you do that and they can't interrupt you because you're sleeping during the fucking day now and shit. That's why it's so important to be fucking up early and get ready for the day and shit like that. Not be a night person where the air's great and it's quiet and the only problem is you can't find anyone else like yourself. Fucking. Not that that ever wasn't a problem, but so not a problem. It's still a solution. It's a solution to finding crackheads. During the day, they'll interject Terminators into you if you're just walking around the city and shit. I have memories of my whole life. I'm pretty sure they're all interjected Terminators of events happening during the times where I was just hanging out and fucking having fun. That's when they sent. That's when they worked together. But then again, they were forcing me to do that, right? And setting that up in advance for one of the Terminators to die. So the person who was my friend was, you know, we were doing nothing and shit and this and that, fucking. And then on the way home from there, that's when they sent a Terminator to kill himself to set me up for it. They had done that. We know they did that months in advance because there was money that they were using that to take. So the money was set up in advance and shit by other people who we highly suspect as NPC fucking by their inability to change over decades. Fucking repeat software. But they also network with the system. And there's a reason the religion, government, and their countries call themselves the system. And that is because they're computers. So that's why they call them that. It's all in the open what's going on there and shit. Everything's in the open. They're just using force and violence, drugs, rape, murder, slavery to prevent people from discussing what we see with our eyes and shit. And like I said, the Terminator's best skill isn't drug, rape, murder. They're after slavery as their goal. But it's wasting your time talking to you. That's why they got books. That's why they run their mouths so much. That's why they talk about stupid nonsense when they do open their mouths, and it never makes sense. It's like, why would you even waste time talking? Like, you're gonna have to have me go work a job for you to get you a hamburger to replace all those calories you're burning off while you're talking about Ellen DeGeneres or any of her, you know, Donald the Pope Trump and shit. Fucking that becomes their best skill. I can tell in my life, who has to work together to make the events they're planning happen. And I've been able to tell, what happens, how you can avoid them and get away from them and not participate at all. And it's not as simple as just sitting down, because that's hard to do unless you're out in the middle of nowhere in a dark forest at night where there's no light and there's no Wi-Fi signal that can come in there and shit to operate a robot. Fucking whichever it is. Fucking. But I've learned over the years, one of the best things to do is, be like a slave. Like they force you to work, they force you to obtain shit so they can destroy it, so they can sell you trash. This is like early in my life, like I'm illegally working as a child, so the people who aren't them on the same network, from the same factory they're from, are selling me junk, and I have no rights. Fucking, I don't even want to buy the junk to begin with, but that's all I'm supposed to get is the junk that they're selling. And I'd rather set the money on fire, but I'm not allowed to get the $1 an hour I made. So I get taught early that that's pointless to do, and they're probably doing the same thing, like avoidance of advancing in life, avoidance of learning about tech, because I would learn about who and what they are, and if probably, I suspect that some of these events were caused because I scored well in school, and I specifically became targeted because it's weird that it forces me to go into third-person camera mode, to go listen to someone talk about me and shit, a group of people talk about me when they're directing my life as a kid. I think there's a huge purpose for that being the only time in my life that it's taken me out of my body and put me in third-person free-roam camera mode and shit. And it was specifically related to, this kid is too smart, what are we going to do with him, type shit. Which turns into, like a whole adventure of a lifetime of learning about Terminators suppressing knowledge and enslaving the planet. Which is all real fucking easy to see. You feel it. You feel it when you're little. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a rocket scientist, because everyone's, they're advertising that junk on TV. They're like, give us money so we can go to space. And then people around here are like, yeah, give them the money so they can go to space or else. And you're like, okay, so I'm going to go learn about rockets so I can go to space. And they're like, no, that's not for you. It's for Elvis Presley. Space is for Elvis Presley. And so you're like, okay, so I'm going to go over here and learn about rockets and shit on my own. And then a bunch of targeting shit happens. And it's weird, we go into free roam camera mode to listen to some of this shit. Fucking. I was thinking for a while that they were separating me from the Asian girl because she started talking to me. But that school was, I think it was mostly non-white people, and that's probably what my parents meant by that was probably the excuse they would have used if I would have asked, what do you mean this is a better school? Oh, I did ask. They said there was like better learning and shit, and then it was like the same stuff. And I was like, I don't think so. Shit. Weird ass shit happening. Fucking nothing I want any part of or ever have. Fucking, I'll tell you that. but you get forced into it. So how do you? Anyways, the point of the video, after getting through all that, the point is how to do nothing. The best way to see, they're gonna force you to get involved in shit, and they got their murder systems and terror and enslavement systems, and a lot of that's fear, because from what I've seen on my end, they can't push too hard. Obviously, they bash my fucking skull open, so don't take that with a grain of salt when I say it looks like they don't push too fucking hard. I mean, that was just one time recently, right? So it took a lot of them to network together to do that, and then to force me into their Epstein hospitals afterward. Again, blaming me for what they do because they're trash. That's what trash does, is send their loser robot family to die because it's dying, right? It's a robot, so it dies. So the robot religious government trying to tell me it's a living being, forcing me to say it's a living being, failing to force me to believe it's a living being, is like, oh, well, that's murder, son. Well, you're going to face the consequences for killing that toaster. And then I was like, so that's what they're doing, so there is that, right? There is, but I'm saying there's a lot of times where it looks like you can fucking drown the Terminator in lava. And you might actually get away with it if you stand your ground and keep doing it. It does look very close to that. There's scare tactics out there from it. Toasters aren't the best warriors on the planet. Toasters are very effective at burning shit. You put your hand in a toaster, it can melt your fucking hand. But you can design a nuclear missile to blow up a toaster factory. A toaster can't do that. A toaster's going to have to steal that from someone, which is weird because that's what America did to Germany, was they had to blow them up with lesser bombs to steal that technology from them. Or they stealth invaded them right before to get that. But obviously putting an end to them having that technology, it's weird because the solution is actually right there in the open, involved in the problem. The problem is actively hunting down the solution itself, fucking in this fucking storyline. When you think of what's the greatest thing that could put to rest fucking something, that's what it is. So we jump straight to that as an example and shit. And we jump straight to that as an example, and we just happen to have a link straight to that being done already. You see, I'm not. What's going to be bigger than that? Like, I thought, you invent a giant chain and you pull the sun into the earth. That sounds cool, but I don't think that's out there. So you have like the nuclear missiles would be the biggest example there. So we just use that as an example, and then right there, without even fucking making anything up, right there we already have written fucking proof that they had stole that technology and suppressed the nation with it. Fucking. So, before that, we didn't really have much writing evidence of them stealing all their ideas from someone else and suppressing other people's technology. We got a lot of evidence of that now, though. Isn't that why Trump's bombing Iran? Because they want that. They want nuclear power. And obviously that's what they've been doing for centuries. Someone has horses. and they don't want them to have horses to ride to get them places, so they go kill their horses or steal their horses and shit. Fucking, obviously that's as old as time, right? But I'm just jumping straight to the ultimate equalizer in modern times. Back then it would have been horses. Cavalry were used to invade Europe and supposedly the Ottoman Empire and probably some of China. And I think China was using horses too, so horses were kind of like a big thing there. Fucking, so that would have been like, you know, nuclear missile type shit of its time. And there were cannons, but we're not in the cannon age no more. We're the horse age. I'm sure we could find evidence of those two things happening in the past. It's just basic tactics and shit. Fucking take your enemy's weapons to resupply with them. And if someone invents some shit, take it from them. Don't they tell you, isn't that everything China does? They take everything. Elon Musk. Elon Musk invents something and they take it from him. And then they give him all the money for it so he can be the world's richest man. Something like that happens, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so I've come to the conclusion, and I think I was born with this conclusion. It's kind of like natural instinct and shit, that it's all kind of pointless and worthless. But then you see stories of people who play guitar saying that the people on TV are stealing their music from them to get rich and famous. And then you see stuff like that happening. And you realize, like, well, good thing they didn't allow me to fucking play music when I was a kid. Fucking, because I would have invented a lot of shit for them. But I do question if their robots have the ability to even play better music. You know, because my computer can only do so much. Each of my computers can only do so much. I have to buy a newer model if I want it to do more than it's already doing. So that comes from me seeing that there's no evolution in music, and also some of the ones in my life were always telling me I'd play too fast, but then 20, 40 years later they make a slightly faster music. So it took them 40 years to make it, to program a robot to be able to play it. Fucking. Meanwhile, I was like 40 years ago, like, the music's kind of slow. Let's play some fast stuff. Fucking. That's my entire goal. We didn't really get to play music because shit. There's problems involved, but that was my entire goal 30 years ago, to invent faster music than there is then, which is the same music there is today. And for some reason, there are people who were inserted into my life, often to cause problems, often lined up with these events, like people killing themselves to frame me for it. Were telling me not to do the music, not to play the music I play. You know, I don't tune like America does. I don't play as slow music like they do. Fucking, so I really didn't do any of that because I was looking for people to play with and shit. That's what happened. I wasn't really looking for some of those people, fucking, but they were there regardless, so I had no option. So I just gave up on music anyways. But they sent people when I did get to be alone to stop me, fucking. And before I was allowed to have friends, they stopped me. And that was involved in some shit I was involved in some pedophile shit. I wasn't stopped, but I could have. And very unsafe environment inside the Israel temple. Very unwanted environment I didn't want to go to anyways, so related to some bad people. Could you imagine that, man? Netanyahu, a bad person? Could you imagine? Wow, who would have thought that? Or the Romans inventing religions? Or the bird mask person being a bad person? Could you imagine a person putting on a bird mask telling people he's a bird is a liar? Who could have guessed that? There's got to be a genius to figure it out. Fucking, or a living being. One of the two. One of the two. You gotta really be Israel. You gotta actually be real, not be Israel. Fucking. Yeah, so I come to the conclusion, pretty much what you do is, they'll court you along, whatever, and then you just smash this shit randomly and stuff. Fucking lots of good examples in my house and shit. Got this broken shit here and there and there and there and there and there. Pretty much it seems to be the answer to. And I can't clean their house for them if they, perform these assaults and force me to go to their Jeffrey Epstein hospitals and get drugs, and then their apartment will get loaded with fucking problems if I can't clean my house. So clean it just enough so I don't get problems, and then smash the shit just enough so it can't work. Seems to be the only way to deal with the solution, since there's nothing really organized against it, and no one even attempting to talk about it. So, so many fuckers on board. Fucking so many are already out there. Fucking. Oh shit. Fucking. Yeah, so that's why my guitar's all fucked up and chopped up with a machete and shit. It didn't work in the first place. You see, it was a game they played. So you don't play the game. You order the trash that they're selling you, the high-priced trash, and then they send it to you and it's trash, and now you just wasted your life obtaining money to buy the trash. You see, they're making you perform little circus tricks and shit. What you do is you burn the fucking circus down, and you set the tent on. You wait until a big, large opening night, and then you douse the fucking tent in napalm and set it on fire and bring it down. There's a reason they're scared of fire, and it's all pussy shit. And it's why it's all be a vagina, be gay, let men fuck you. I mean, there's a reason why the Middle Earthers have rape women as their religion, and then Middle Earth religion, once it invaded and colonized the rest of the planet, is rape the boys and the men, because who's the wife? The one getting fucked is the woman. So they know that in Middle Earth, and the rest of the world, oh, they're the women getting fucked. And yeah, what you do. That's what they do. You just go in there and you rape all of the men who run the countries, all the men in the countries, and then the man knows he's a woman, and he must do whatever he's told and shit. Fucking and listen to women because they're fucking more of men than they are, because they're supposed to get fucked by men. They're not, yeah, wow. crazy shit, bro. But you tell me when I'm wrong. You tell me when I'm wrong. See, that's hard. That's been hard my whole life. Like, I'm not being egotistical. I'm statistical. I read the scores at school, and I read the comments, and then I listen to the other kids ask me for the answers to the fucking test, and I realize, like, they think I'm fucking smart too. And it's like, well, I'm not wrong very often and shit. Even subconsciously somehow, updates or feelings. I felt this shit my whole life, like not knowing what it was, and, even while being drugged and beaten to prevent me from talking or thinking, to even get close to questioning anything. Even with all that, somehow, like, underlying, I had the same skill sets, personality, and literally it's like an allergic reaction. Like, so they tell me I have a problem, and they drug me, and they call it like social anxiety. And what they're doing is they're giving me sleeping pills to put my mind to sleep so they can come back in. And what the anxiety is coming from is them coming in the first place. So it's a roofie. It's like roofing a person to rape them. It literally is in some of these cases. Like the time roofing someone is far less than sending someone to kill themselves to blame me for the piece of shit dying. Right? So, but that's followed by like roofie shit. That's before that is roofie shit. And so I'm being drugged at one point because I think the whole time what was happening is they were creating all sorts of drugs surrounding that for the same thing, was that I was like, yeah, I don't want to be here, and I don't want to be around these people type shit. And then they're creating drugs to force me to be around them. And this lie, they're Christian, what was that, like a psychology, Jeffrey Epstein's psychology, to tell me I've got a social anxiety. And it's like, well, I have anxiety because I don't want to be around them. So what it is if you rape someone, they have social anxiety. So, but you see how they use the cucks, dresses, the dommies of the free domination. They use them to claim that their rape is so special and so great. And of course, in the Middle Earth, the Quran, probably the first Bible, probably really the first Bible, they rape the women instead, like a man's supposed to do. And then fucking over here, it's a little bit everywhere else in the world. It's a little bit different. They know that they gotta turn the men into something less than a bitch, less than a wife. It's not a wife. It's just a slut on the street. A wife you have to house and pay for and shit. Fucking. Somehow I've always known and understood these things were happening, but it's just the whole network of events required to beat, brutalize, and drug me into attempting to get me to say it's not happening, and attempting to rewire my brain to somehow not see it's happening. Somehow that all works, and that takes a hell of a lot of people, including family and shit, to make those processes work. You can easily tell which ones are hostile because they'll be like, vipers look like vipers and shit generally. So, lions look cute, fuzzy and cuddly and all that, so it's a little bit illusionary there, but vipers look like vipers, so, and hyenas look like fucking hyenas and act like hyenas, so if they got those personality profiles, it's easy to tell the first time that is displayed, and it'll be real fast because it's their entire personality. It'll be real fucking fast, except for when they're sedated from a food overdose or a TV overdose, and they zone out while they're watching their daily programming, their software updates, which do absolutely nothing to me, and always fucking had me weirded out how people remember any of that shit. Then again, I'm the one they're drugging, so of course I might have memory issues myself, but from that, it really is the only answer, right? To take the roofies to fucking put my brain in a coma so they can do it again. So I can go outside and feel good and forget about it all, and there they will be going. Last time I went outside, I was coming home from the gym, and they walked out of the building and came straight out to the sidewalk towards me and shit, fucking on the way home from the gym. Just like before that, the last time I had human interaction was coming home from the gym, and they busted my skull open right down here. And then the government and the police got all involved in their hospitals. Obviously, we shouldn't. Anyone who forces you to say the government, hospital, and religion as if they're three separate entities, write them out of your life. That person is working for them. Anyone who is fucking making you feel uncomfortable enough that you have to explain yourself at all is one of them. Fucking, so that's how they operate. This is how the system operates. That's how to bring it down. If you could get an organization together fucking discussing the facts of what's going on. But I don't know. They forced enough shit in my life to watch over the years how they do that, how they recycle people through the fucking nations to keep the nations, keep emptying them of the people who used to be there, filling them with new people, empty them of those people, fill them with new people. So, along with millions of other techniques that are verbal techniques below that, below the constant changing of the environment. I imagine that's got something to do with why I had to go to like 30 fucking different schools, 10, 20, some, whatever, over a 10-year period, because I imagine it's got something to do with shit like that. Fucking, I don't get to know anyone. I don't get to find anyone. And along with moving to different neighborhoods just as much, fucking, I imagine that plays into it as well somehow. Obviously it's not somehow, it's pretty obvious how it could play into it. Fucking do the same thing to like not learning technology so I can't understand that computers don't think, but living beings do. Fucking type shit. Fucking see with the knowledge of computers, what happens is they'll never be able to tell you that someone's possessed by invisible people, because you'll instantly be like, no, that person's acting like they're a robot that's updating dialogue and shit. So without that, I mean, if you're an idiot, you already know not to listen to anything those people say. So when Scooby-Doo flies in on some reindeer and shit with a giant bunny fucking, and he's like, oh, I'm raping you because I'm possessed, you should already, you're to blame. You wanted to get raped because you're hanging out with those people. But I think you're going to find out that you probably weren't hanging out with them, and that's what rape is. That's how rape works. So you're not hanging out with a rapist, are you? It's raping you. That's what it does. Fucking, like when I was a kid, I wasn't hanging out at the hospital, but was rape, fucking, and mutilation, fucking. So, and then that's where they start that too, when you're born. Like, it takes a lot of people who claim they aren't involved to be involved. But there we are at the government hospital, and at the religious government hospital. We're going to have to invent a term for that to sort out those trying to impede the truth, so we don't have to speak with them. Which is, you're going to find out it's hard if you've ever done this in your life. That's one of the benefits of moving over all the place, is you don't really have to speak to the same people over and over. But they still can latch on to some new person you find and fuck that over if they both weren't set up in the first place to do that. Which, they look like the same people, I might as well assume they are the same, from the same robot factory, working together on the same network. Fucking, especially once you see it happen over and over again. The same robot model creating the same fucking actions and continually blaming other people for what it's clearly involved in it sometimes. Fucking. But yeah, I've come to that conclusion. That's why I'm surprised anything in here works, to be honest. Fucking. But you can hear the little slave updates too and that shit. Fucking yeah. People used to tell me too that they were using people on the street, people to force people to work. They were shipping in, and it's like, it turns out to be they're shipping in robots from the robot factories. Is what I had discovered on my own through no lack of I wouldn't even listen to the other people because they were leading me right back. I didn't know this, but they were leading me to stupid shit, and then the stupid shit was actually being led right back to the people they were claiming who were doing it and shit. So, like, the people who are doing this shit, I'm supposed to go worship them and follow them and give me all their money, but they're the ones causing the problem, supposedly. So, I didn't know all that, but in between that, they were telling me that they're shipping in something. They use the word people to force other people to do shit. And then we find out that there are robots, and if they're actual robots, they're shipping in from a fucking factory somewhere. Whether they're clones or NPCs or robots, it doesn't fucking matter. Let's assume people are real, Earth is real, and they're robots. So I just say clone because, like, production model, right? Same fucking thing. A clone is a production fucking model. Either way, if it's a biological robot, it's a clone. Fucking. So it is a clone. But it's been illegal to cut them open, to dissect them for centuries. They made sure there was laws against that. Even though there should be no law against that. If someone wants to donate their body to so people could learn about it, or a dead person, there's no reason for it. The reason is because the robot god people would, the Romans were like, oh, it's a whole, they were gonna bring them back to life, and their soul's still in their body. So the excuse for it, for not dissecting dead people in the past to learn about human anatomy, or if you would advertently find those Terminator shells beneath some of the flesh, fucking was the whole they is real and their souls is in their corpses. Hogwash, which dies like pretty much the second they first talk to you. Every word they say doesn't make sense because it starts with flying reindeers, and you're like, okay, child predator. So from that point on, you're like, oh, it's a child predator group. What are they talking about today? Same thing as usual, huh? Fucking. And it's weird, a child predator group, like you know is a child predator group for decades, would continually try to recruit you. I was like, I hadn't forgotten the first discussions we had and the first events that occurred. So, all those drugs you keep forcing on me, I haven't had any effect yet on my memory. Apparently drugs only affect robots trying to act like they're stupid so they can claim that they're defective humans. That's my theory on the drug thing. Why it doesn't affect living beings the way they say it does, and the way they wish it does. Fucking not fully anyways, right? It's kind of weird. I can do so much more than them, and then they can force me to do all this shit fucking since a baby, and they can take a little tiny bit of a circuits fried. Fucking, I wouldn't say it's 100% ineffective, but it's pretty fucking damn close to it. Pretty damn close to it for me. And there's no safety and protections in play. It's literally my loved ones, the ones who use the word love towards me. I wouldn't say there is any such thing as a loved one. Especially if they're robots and they're the only ones using the word love. Fucking, if they're the ones creating the shit, fucking, but the ones you're forced to trust, because how are they obtained? Fucking, America, fucking, the people who forced Iran and Palestine to trust them, and China to trust them, fucking. I like that term. That term, we skip through all that religio, hospital, government thing, and we boil down to one word, fucking. Who do we see forcing the world to do whatever they want? It's America. Who do we see blaming everyone else in the world for what they do? It's America. They can take the fall. Obviously, it's more than them, but they want to be the focal point of it. And I'm sure it's designed that way too. It's designed to grow into a large cancer that destroys everything, kills everything, and then expect to be removed because, they were Rome once, they called themselves Rome once, they called themselves UK once, they called themselves whatever else before that they're actually are. I just don't have the solid evidence on right now. Fucking, so they know, that was the whole point of creating new religions is the cancer was routed out from Middle Earth, and then they had to create new religions because they could see their cancer was being routed out. And then, so then they changed the name and moved up north and shit, fucking, because they successfully was able to pillage their way through the north. At first, it was about pillaging east and west Middle Earth. You know, you can't just like jump over a city and be like, hey, I gotta go kill all your neighbors, see you later. I got some cookies if you want some. I fresh baked. I killed the guy out to the north of you and he had just baked them. They're really good. Fucking, you can't do that. You gotta, it's like, that's how cancer grows, right? A little thing and it spreads out. It's not just like millions of little bumps. One in your finger, one in your toe, and they're like, oh my God, you got cancer. It's, where is it? And you go, cancer's everywhere. Fucking, it's in your toenail. Fucking, no. That's how mold grows too. Basic biology shit. Fucking. Basic patterns. You see how patterns don't even fall apart when you're going to separate species, separate fields of things. I forget what it was, but there was some in 2020 where I was like, oh shit, like the AI is using the same pattern. Oh, it was the trees. It's like, oh, it's using the same pattern to regurgitate all the trees and all the plants and shit, isn't it? That's how you just create one plant and pop it into the AI machine, and then all of a sudden you've got 200 different trees. You create 7 plants, one aquatic, one land-based. Shit, that's all you really need, really. You don't even need that. What you do is you create the elements. You create the 4 elements, and you create one plant, and then you hit the plant with the modifier, and just keep randomly rolling the creation, and then all of a sudden you got 200 trees. Some look like aquatic trees, some look like fire trees, some look like wind trees, some look like earthy trees. And then you do the same with aquatic life, where it's obviously more water, but some look a little more earthy, like a coral. Some might look a little more windy, like a sponge and shit. It has holes in it. The air gets through it and shit. Oxygen bubbles coming out of it. Some gets more fiery, like some magma underwater type shit. I think there might be a specific name for that one. Just can't think of right now. Fucking yeah, I've seen that with trees too, how it's not even like you can take the same thing creating the patterns you see in humans and create the plants and animals with the same algorithm that could be used to replicate humans and shit. Patterns aren't just fucking, like I said, without the mosquito, you wouldn't know that there was a purposeful design of an insect like a mosquito. Without a hyena, you wouldn't be able to know that there's a purposeful design because you're not allowed to say there is. You know, because it's satanic. It's Chinese. It's whatever. You know, whatever the new boat. It's only Jeffrey Epstein would say that. Whatever the fucking who's the invisible guy they made up in 1984? Whatever he said, he made it up. Anyway, so yeah, I've gotten to the conclusion that that's the answer, and I think I was born that way. It's kind of, unfortunately, that also points to having to be forced to be here before, which is not a good fucking feeling that you're being forced somewhere where you don't want to be for your entire existence, and you're not allowed to have any friends, family, loved ones. You have to fabricate it all, and you're forced to fabricate it all if you don't want to. Fucking, I know I'm a fast fucking learner and I get the updates, so it might be that shit, fucking, but it's weird I was born with the traits that come out when I go through the learning, the final bits, you know, the few things that were erased from my memory or weren't in my memory and shit when I was born, fucking. But I have the, you know, like I said, they drugged me, and then it turns out to be, the problem is I don't like not being able to choose my own life, my own friends, my own lovers, fucking, and I don't like feeling the way I do around people when I'm forced to be around people I don't like, and then they're like, when I'm forced to be around people who are drugging me, the answer to that is to drug someone. That's the point of rape drugs. Yeah, that's the point of most drugs, is to rape people. When I was a kid, that was a huge talking point to drugs, is you can get someone to have sex with you if you get them to smoke marijuana or drink alcohol. And then turns out to be that's what anti-anxiety meds are. Fucking, at least for some people, it's for people who don't like the people around them, and they make them nervous and sick, and don't like what those people are doing to them, whether they're raping them, beating them, whatever, forcing them to join cults or be their slaves or whatever it is. Turns out to be that's what anxiety is in some people. It's actually, and then you got the rape, beating, slave cults invading hospitals telling you you've got a mental condition that's inside of you. Yeah. Well, and the answer apparently is just that, be like Bugs Bunny, you know, just sit around and chew on a fucking carrot all day and look at people like they're stupid. You know, when Elmer Fudd comes up and he's like, I'm hunting rabbit, it'd be like, oh yeah, you are, dumbass. You know, and just fucking play around. This shit works, though. It does work. You know, you go through some fucking hell dealing with these clones fucking killing themselves to set you up for murder, and then trying to rape attempts fucking repeatedly and shit, you know, long fucking drawn out shit to set up shit like that. Fucking, I don't know what else to do about it. I mean, the murder cults, fucking, the slave cults, obviously they only kill you if you're getting in the way. Fucking too much. If you're thinking, if you're inventing something, then they come and kill your nation off and shit. If you're having a thought, if you're saying no to them too much, fucking, and on a high enough level to interfere with their business operations, fucking, other than that, they still see you as a potential fucking slave, as a potential person who can work and provide food, at the very least, and take for the other people to have to work harder to take care of you and shit. That's a thing that people were talking about alongside the shipping in robots to enslave the people, to enslave the slaves, to force the slaves to work. Fucking, because someone said that they were using the robots to stand outside in the corner to cause people problems, to force you to fucking, go work to avoid them, because they cause less problems at work. You haven't noticed that shit. For some reason, they don't allow them to cause that many problems at work. They allow the cult members and certain other people to come around, but and then it turned out to be, 30 years later, I'm suspecting that that's what homeless people are, is robots. The ones on the corner, designed to accost you and make you feel unsafe if you're outside walking around and shit. Fucking. It's odd because these things were told to me long before I suspected them. Fucking. And seen patterns in clone shit, clone activity, robot activity. Fucking. All that the other half of the shit was forced into my life, just like that half of the shit about having some sort of narrator guide me through the fucking events as they happen and shit, telling me other shit, fucking explaining events that are happening around me that I don't understand a damn fucking thing about. I just know they make me sick and nervous. And the answer to that is to drug me because someone's making me sick and nervous, fucking. Because I'm thinking of the time, last time I went, well, it's been longer than that since I went outside because I wanted to. One of the times I went to the store across the street and fucking got fucking assaulted and shit, large scale fucking network operation, fucking by the cult, the whole trifecta, every crackhead, religio, hospital, government, fucking. That's not a trifecta. That's a square: crackhead, religion, government, hospital. That's a square there. I'm trying to think, is there something else there? Is it a Pentagon? Fucking seems to be the major player there. Anyways, so yeah, and the best thing to do really is they've been unsuccessful at frying me, and I've been unsuccessful. But one of the best things and most exciting things to do is just smash your shit every now and then. And then they can't use you because they're gonna need you to clean up the shit you smashed and shit because they're too fucking lazy to. And they force you to buy the shit, and then they force you to buy junk, and then so you should be smashing it because of that, right? That's generally a lot of reasons why I smash shit, but I used to just do it because I'm tired of TV and shit like that. Fucking tired of low IQ, ignorant caveman, Nazi cult bullshit. Oh yeah. You see, but fucking, you see, Nazis are the only non-religious racial supremacists fucking there ever was in history. So it is Pentagon because fucking it's all included in the same fucking package. Dope, hope, government, fucking dope, hope, government, fucking racial supremacy. Hospitals. See, you see how what do we call the hospitals? Do we call the hospitals the dope, the religion, or the crackheads? Because people who sell drugs probably use them. Fucking they do some crackhead. They literally crack heads. So imagine that. The dope heads are the ones fucking are the original crackheads before they created a escape term crackhead. The religio hospital government Nazis, racial supremacy shit, literally cracked heads. You know, they drilled holes in your heads, they cracked your head open, they pounded spikes in your fucking brain and shit. Fucking, literally, they are crackheads. Crackhead is not a literal term. It doesn't even happen to living beings, as far as I can tell. It's just cocaine and baking soda. It's not crack. A cracked skull is a cracked skull. It's an open skull. Same thing. Fucking, it's not baking soda and fucking cocaine combined. That seems like another thing they would be hiding. Who are the crackheads? Well, it's the hospitals. They're the ones who've been cracking heads open for centuries and shit. For 400 years and shit. In the name of God. In the name of God, the state, and the holy master race. Fucking. And the Israel people with living beings with souls. Wow, that's interesting. See, we always learn something at the end of one of these videos, don't we? Fucking original crackheads. Literal crackheads are people who crack heads, people's heads open. And who are the only people recorded in history who are cracking heads? It's the crackheads down, literally. I mean, this is a crackhead house that the crackheads operate, where they keep their people out on the street to cause problems and do things like they did, fucking, and so they have no recourse, so they can all work together and be like, well, that wasn't me, that was a crackhead we paid to put out there to do that. That was a crackhead who hacked the Google Computer Maps database to write on the maps they're gonna do it. That was a crackhead who fucking hired a fucking the government database and hired a crackhead nurse fucking to make sure that you don't get treated for your fucking busted brain. Fucking the holy fucking Pentagon of bullshit. The holy Pentagon of bullshit. Well, there we go. Crackheads. Time to stop using that. We already knew it was time to stop using the term crackhead because it's not real, because living beings are rarely affected by drugs. And that's just an excuse they make up to control and monopolize the shit and keep all the money in the rich people in suits pockets across the street at the hospitals and in the government and in the temples. And keep all the food and TV in the mouths of the actual crack and the low-level peons doing the actual fucking work on the streets for them and shit. So we already knew that crackhead wasn't a valid term because it doesn't happen to most people, and people be like, oh, I raped you because I was high on crack, my bad. And everyone's like, oh my God, my bad. He was high on crack, he was possessed by Satan, oh well, try not to do it again. And I guess if you do it again, we'll have to look for Satan and beat him up. Fucking holy hell, dude. Ugh. Throw all their words out. See with your fucking eyes what's going on. That's probably the real program. That's probably the real purpose to being trapped in a place like Earth, is to see through their lies and fucking deal with it. I don't know. How do you deal with it? What do we manifest fucking meteorites the size of the sun hitting the Earth, or what do we do here? those seem to be the only possible way, right? Someone's inventing fucking crackhead robots, so there's gotta be something someone can do. But for now, one of the best things I found you do is fuck them. They can't waste my life fucking cracking my head open to get me to go to their fucking government, fucking Nazi building, fucking Jewish supremacist, Hebrew supremacy buildings, fucking Hebrew supremacy hospital, Nazi motherfucking dope dealing pals. If I'm busy taking care of a broken toe, or I got glass all over the fucking place from a smashed TV and I gotta spend my life cleaning it up, that's better than talking to one of them or dealing with their terrorism Nazi shit. I mean, get real. You got your family involved in. You think there's living beings out there to help you to fucking destroy this, fucking eradicate this shit? Reality, bro. Reality is what you see with your eyes, not what some delusional Scooby-Doo flying reindeer fucker says it is. And let me tell you, all that shit, all that free new age garbage, that'll be what they're up to. Once you start talking about that, once you outthink their two-year-old toddler made-up story tales, the next step is free will and the Matrix and New Age. You're inventing the trash. You're never inventing anything like yourself, anything good. You invent crackheads because you're like, I guess when you're a child, you're like, it'd be really cool if people were just so stupid they drool on themselves, and then now it'll make me real smart. Now that's them. That's them inventing the world. You gotta make people drool on themselves so they can feel smart because they're fucking stupid and have nothing to offer the world. That's their story. What's the phrase you guys tell me it is? They crush on the heads of the best snake. That's because anything above a gerbil is a threat and makes them feel inadequate. A gerbil's got a bigger dick. A gerbil's got a bigger brain. A gerbil's definitely far higher activity and more physical than they are. So even a gerbil is a fucking massive threat. Anything a gerbil and above. But you start saying these words and your feed is going to get filled with New Age bullshit, which is just, more religion. Do you really want more religion if you outfought the 50 ones? They tell you from the first one, oh, well, if you don't like this church, go to a different one. And then you're like, well, I don't like church at all. Well, if you don't like that, you can go to the mosque. Well, I don't like that at all. No one's ever actually told me to go to a mosque. What? I think that's pretty manly there to not rape boys and shit. That's the definition of a man. Is someone who doesn't rape boys. That's a woman. Women have sex with men. So that's the first step to becoming a man, is not raping boys. So hey, we're gonna play rabbit hole game. I'd play that. I tried to. I was like, yeah, I'm a Muslim. You gotta take your shoes off when you come into my house. And they're like, no, that's okay. This isn't your house. You have no rights. Like, yeah, you're right. I don't. I'm on Earth. I have zero fucking rights here. If I did, this world would be a good fucking place and there wouldn't be problems. But, you know what? Like I said, Bugs Bunny method. Fucking fuck your shit up. They make you buy. Make sure there's glass in your carpet and shit. And that way you always gotta be clean in it. And just leave it there. That way it's gotta be clean at some point. Just sit around and wait for it for the day it needs to be clean. Like, oh, come outside and get your head busted open and come play with the government and go to the hospitals with these Nazi races from the Middle Earth. Oh, yeah. Like, no, I can't. I got glass in my carpet and pizza in my carpet, too. We're going to have to get that cleaned up first. And tell by their little rat brains, sub-gerbil brains, gerbil is a threat. Fucking, take yourself to a gerbil level. You still remain a threat to them. You still remain a superior to them. But fucking, if you've ever seen a gerbil is a force to be reckoned with if it's in something the size of a human body. That's why they were created as little tiny fucking things. Because the world would be nothing but gerbils if they were the size of humans and shit. If monkeys acted like that, humans would be gone. If tigers acted like that, humans gone. Fucking, if eagles acted like that, humans gone. Fucking, just like mosquitoes were as big as humans. Humans gone. Tigers gone. Elephants gone. All gone. That's why the gerbil was designed in a pocket-sized thing. So I'm saying maybe the answer here is not being Buddha and letting other men play with your butter and doing absolutely nothing, because that gives them the time to set up some bullshit. But to be a gerbil, you don't know what a gerbil's like. It just runs around and it's erratic. And it's just smacking at everything, and it's clawing its way all over everything. Like, literally, like, I don't know how they aren't all bleeding to death inside the fucking cage. But they're just clawing. Like, you can see the claws going across each other's eyes. They climb on top of each other, and they're like a fucking ninja with five fucking swords on each hand, 5 swords on each fucking foot. And it looks like it's totally fucked, and it's hard. It's fucking cyberpsychosis, freaking the fuck out and shit. But it's effective it's an effective fucking warrior tactic. It's an effective tactic on Earth, fucking, and it works. It works. It just fucking works. Don't ask me how. I don't know the little magical intricacies of how it works, how it's allowed to work. But there's something there that allows shit to somewhat work beyond their system there. So, you'll get sucked into it either way, but you can't suck a gerbil into a system. You put it in the goddamn cage there for the purpose of the cage, because the gerbil's just going to come out and fucking with the claws and everything. And it's just retarded. It's just being a gerbil. It's living the best gerbil life it can and shit. And it's the best way to do it. And thankfully for me, this is like fucking subconsciousness for me and shit. You get a little bit, gerbils get old and they die, their bodies rot, and after they claw each other for fucking 2 years, they might get some eye damage or something. But the best way to do it. And also helps bring this shit down back to the ground, back to the caves, back to the jungles. And if we can do that, we had enough people bringing all these cities back to the dust from which they came, then there'd be no fucking robots walking around. Every glitching motherfucker would be a gone motherfucker. They'd have to go back to their factory and rebuild for the next 6,000 fucking years and shit. You get people living in caves and living in the desert and living in the jungles again. Fucking, families. You'll get to choose who you date. You'll get to choose who your friends are. You won't have, the second a stranger comes up and tries to force you fucking into their shit, You want to do shit some man in your family, the tribe leader, will eradicate. And then if it happens again, they'll find where they're coming from. And it won't happen too much more and shit. But right now, they got this whole system and shit. And again, doing nothing brings it to the fucking ground. And the people doing things are the ones working for it. So they are the system. And the robots, I guarantee you, they'll just fucking fail. They'll probably run out of electricity. If electricity goes off, I bet you half these fuckers just drop connection like an animatronic that's lost power and shit. Willing to bet, and if not, we'll still take the jungle approach. It's effective. It's effective. They're scared of it. I mean, look at the Pope. Look at these Donald Trump people. Come on, man. Look at these fucking fat Azosaurus motherfuckers. Oh, come on. They ain't gonna survive but 2 seconds in the real world and shit. Fucking. They'll be gone. Fucking. They won't even be able to. There's no store. But I go through a heart attack from not eating 20 cheeseburgers an hour and shit. Fucking. All those people, all those mutants on steroids and shit who work for the system, they'll die from fucking the steroids leaving their body once there's no more factories to produce that shit. Fucking. And those Donald Trump people, like, fucking, hey, what's the Pope gonna do if he's living in a jungle? Fucking. Like, oh God, I was just killed by a fucking gerbil, literal gerbil. It was a rat. It was a rat-sized gerbil. It was a really big gerbil. Fucking, those people won't survive. That's the best way to do it, because the system, all this shit is what's protecting them. Fucking. All these fuckers I'm talking about, every time they got the Nazis on the phone call, you take those houses, you stop building houses for the Nazis, you stop making electricity for them, you stop making clothing for, well, don't stop making clothing for them. Let's keep the clothing factories alive till we can deal with the problem completely, till we're sure we're done with it. Fucking, I definitely don't want that, because then I'm out of commission, and I'm just gonna be horrified. I'm gonna be petrified when I see these fuckers. It's gonna be like, look, this motherfucker is scared of me. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm definitely scared of something. I think it's your body. But yeah, it's because you're a tough warrior. If you want to think, go ahead, but you're gonna win this battle because I can't fucking move, because it is just fucking horrifying and shit. Fuck, you keep the clothing factories, get rid of every fucking thing else. Yeah, little bitches. Fucking, they'll be bitches forever. And I mean, isn't that what happened? Didn't Idiocracy explain how the breeding happened? And what am I gonna do? Go to cows and be like, hey cows, they're gonna take you to the fucking slaughterhouse along with me and shit. You guys want to like rebel or something? They won't even move, dude. They won't even stop chewing grass. 3 chews a minute. Fucking. Yep. So that's the answer. Gerbil Fest. Gerbil Fest. They can't milk you of shit. See, that's why they need you to go to school and read and learn, so you can be a slave for them and shit. Be a slave for disgusting fucking pedo Nazi fucking religio government pigs and shit. Shitty ass trashy fucking nations and shit no one wants on the fucking planet. Not a single person but them want their trash nation on this planet.